What's up, everybody? So in the last video you guys just saw, we ended up talking about wanting to do the bed liner on Luke's truck. We have to get that done, and this is actually a continuation of the previous video you guys just saw, which was the kicked out video. Yep. And we're gonna go ahead and jump in on this and start working on the bed, trying to get it all prepped up and ready to go for bed liner. And hopefully the Civic leaves us today, so maybe we'll get a chance to see that get kicked out.
Yeah.
So get kicked out. So we'll see it. Yeah. As far as like the bed liner and stuff goes, we do have some stuff to fill and touch up. There are like some rust spots like here and here, which we have to grind down. I don't think those will be too big of an issue.
No, I mean,
I don't think they'll push through or anything.
No.
I think it's just like surface wherever. Obviously they had like dropped something there and dented it, and then the paint peeled up. Yeah. Now over there is a hole that's going to need to get patched, and then there are also these 4 holes here that we need to patch into. Those were done by the previous owner. I don't really know why they did that. I don't know if they had something mounted back here, but we got to patch those up. And then there's also
this. Oh yeah.
One little hole right there that we're gonna need to weld shut. I don't think that'll be too big of a deal because we can take like a, just weld it shut and then later on be able to body fill that in. Well, use a stud gun to pull that up. But that would also require having a garage, which we're done talking about that for now.
Yeah.
I guess what did you get? You end up getting the
Raptor Liner.
Yeah, we haven't even opened this. Well, I guess you opened it. I opened it
just to make sure everything was there.
Yeah. So this is the Raptor Liner stuff. How many cans are in there? 4? Oh, I guess it says right there, 4 liters.
4 liter.
Yep. And then this comes with the spray gun as well, is what you said?
You're actually gonna want your own spray gun. If you have one for paint, don't use it because this stuff gums everything up.
Yeah, we don't want to dirty up my paint guns. Oh yeah, that'll be nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna test that out and see how this works. Hopefully this stuff works pretty well for a bed liner. I've never actually used it before. I guess my truck has Line-X or whatever in it, which I don't know. It's professional grade stuff, where this stuff is kind of a do-it-yourself type of thing. So we're gonna see how this works out. Hopefully it performs like we want it to, and fixes up the bed a little bit so it's actually usable rather than using that big old mat that we have over there.
That's had a bubble in the middle of it.
Yeah, that one that's junk. So for now, we're gonna go ahead, take the grinding disc and clean up all the rusty spots, clean up the holes so I can weld those shut. All around there is gonna get cleaned up. Take out all the seam sealer and everything, so that'll be all out of there as well. We are gonna replace all the seam sealer and then any of the bare metal spots. I think
I have
self-etch primer, and it is the U-pol stuff,
here.
so it's the same stuff as the Raptor. Yes, so
acid etch. That
stuff will work for covering up the bare steel. Yeah. And I guess let's go ahead, jump right into this, and start grinding and wire wheeling the seam sealer and rust away. Okay, so we went ahead, we got the holes all kind of ground down and ready to go, so we can go ahead and weld those up. I need to cut out some pieces of metal to fill them in with. We can see that little tiny rust hole turned into be something a little bit bigger, so we need to make a patch for there, and then I have these 4 patches back here. Some of this still needs to get cleaned up. Luke's been working with the wire wheel, so his side is pretty much done. It's going to need a good cleaning, so I guess for now, let's go ahead, cut out our next pieces that we need for these holes. I need to get the correct sizes on those. And then we should be able to weld those up. Oh yeah, I did this little corner up here as well. So that's all ground down. That should be able to be welded up too. So let's go ahead and, like Luke just did, jump right into it, huh?
Yoo-hoo!
So I got everything cut out and ready to go for our welding, like our patches and stuff. I've got the welder set up here. As you guys can see, it's all hooked up. Ground cable's there. All the little pieces here are the patches. These little washers here will fit here and here, and then basically you just kind of spot weld the center of them. So then you'll find there. These little odd shaped ones will fill up all those holes, as well as that one that's over there. So let's go ahead, set this up, and begin welding. I think Luke just went ahead. You got the battery disconnected?
Yep.
Cool, so we're good there. Don't want anything to happen with like the electronics. I know there's not a whole lot with this truck, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Okay, so we just managed to get the welding all done. The holes are all patched.
I think they're okay. It's good.
They're okay.
It's good. There's one
you guys
maybe
can,
bad.
You guys can judge me. It's not the best. This one is definitely the worst. that hole, I mean, that metal there was pretty thin.
That was our biggest gap, too.
Yeah, it was like a rusty spot. We grinded it all down, and the hole basically started from like a little pinhole size, and then it just got bigger to be like that. So we ended up getting it onto bare steel and getting a patch in that fits, but you can see it's just really boogery looking. The other 4 over here, you guys saw me do these too. They're okay. They're definitely not the prettiest. I say that one's probably my best. I'm really happy with the way that one turned out. It's kind of like a plug weld or, yeah, plug weld. I think that's the word I'm looking for. So that one seemed to hold up the best and look the prettiest, I guess. But we will go ahead. We're going to grind them all down smooth so you won't even see them. And then it'll be flat when we do the bed liner.
Yeah.
So I think you're getting pretty tired and I'm getting pretty tired.
Yeah.
You went through, you got all the seam sealer knocked out. You guys can see.
That made a mess.
All gone. It was a huge mess. Luke went ahead and vacuumed it out. So all I have to do is go ahead and sand this bed, and then we can get to the self-etch.
Yep.
And then we can finally get into spraying the bed liner.
We got the seam sealer still, too.
Oh yeah, we gotta do seam sealer. So we still gotta do that. There's quite a bit of stuff to do. But anyway, it's, yeah, we're gonna take a little bit of break here. So I guess we'll see you guys here in a second.
Tomorrow.
What's up, everybody? So we are back now in the garage. We took a little bit of a break. We had to, I guess, get some rest. It was super late at night, and we're back now. We're up early this morning, gonna work on the truck. We actually been working on it for a little bit of time now, trying to get rid of all those rust spots that we had. We had actually patched all these in, which you guys saw in the last clip, and I went ahead, ground them all down, so they are nice and smooth now. I guess you ended up picking up some all-metal body filler, which this stuff is basically like it's waterproof, which is really nice, and it fills in any little pinholes. I've used this stuff before. Yep, it works really good. I don't know. I like this stuff. So that'll go over top of any of these spots here. We had like the dimples and divots to kind of smooth it in, or if there's any kind of imperfections within the weld where I may have like water or stuff could get through. So that'll help seal it in. And there's also like little tiny pinholes on the side of the bed there, which aren't really a big issue. I just prefer to take care of them and have them filled in for now and have it protected. The one thing we did find when we were starting over again this morning, there was a bigger hole up there. It started off as just like this little tiny like, it was like a rusty spider crack type thing. I don't know. It was just really weird, and we started grinding at it, and the hole started off like little tiny, and then just got bigger and bigger. So we went ahead, patched that, ground that down too. So you guys can just see where it is. The only thing that kind of sucks is this seam that's right here. We did have to kind of weld it together just to hold it up. But we will be going through here with seam sealer and patching that all up. Now, you guys can see here in the background too, the Civic is gone. It's not gone, it's outside right now. I've got the junkyard. He actually just called me. He said he's coming to pick it up, so we will be saying goodbye to that car finally. We are finally done with that car.
Cannot wait.
So the red Civic can come back inside now and sit there and look pretty for a little while until it has to move out again with all of our stuff. So I guess we'll go ahead, continue working on the truck now. We got a lot of sanding and a lot of filling to do, so let's do that. And then when the junkyard comes to pick up the truck, or not the truck, the car, I'll try to film that to you for you guys too, to say one last goodbye. Okay, so we just managed to get the all metal all put on the holes in any of the spots that we had, any of the welds we had done. And I don't know if you guys can hear that right now, but I think the truck driver's here to pick up the Civic. So let's try to get that one on film. All right, well, the Civic is off. She's loaded up. There she goes. It's the last time we're gonna see it.
Bye, won't miss you.
Yeah. That thing was such a piece. I'm so glad that thing's gone now. Now we have all this room for activities in here, even though we're not going to be able to use it anymore, but I don't know. We have it for a little bit of time. We can go ahead and bring the red Civic back in here. I'm not going to do it right now just because Luke and I have a lot of stuff to do on here, and we got a lot of sanding and painting. Don't want that car in the way. So let's just continue on with the truck bed.
A few moments later.
So we ended up getting the bed all sanded up. It's, I guess, done now for all of our sanding. That took way too long. That was...
I think it means we did it right, though.
I hope so. That's the one thing. Prep work is key in all of this stuff. Any kind of body work and stuff takes a lot of prep. Sanding takes forever. I mean, we did this. This has been like, we probably have like 3 hours just in sanding. We ended up using 180 grit. I believe you said Raptor Liner recommends like 120 to 180 or anywhere in that spectrum there. So we went with the 180 grit, and like I said, everything seems to be pretty good. Everything's smoothed out, scuffed up. We had to do it a couple times because we blow it out and there'll still be a couple shiny spots, which we don't want to have the shiny spots. You want it to be like a dull finish to make sure the paint has like a tooth to it so it grips and holds the bed liner once we apply that. But for now that we have all this done, we're gonna go ahead, wax and grease remove everything, seam seal it, self etch, or I guess they call it acid etch for the Raptor Liner stuff. Basically same thing, and then we can go ahead and mask it and actually start spraying it, which I'm
excited.
I'm really interested
to
see how it performs. So we'll see how it is. I mean, like I said, I got Linux and stuff in my truck. I really hope we can get that kind of professional grade finish.
Yeah, like rough.
Yeah, like not rough, but still kind of that smoother. We'll see. We'll play around, see how it looks. But I guess we'll go ahead and clean this all out and then do our seam sealer and everything else. So let's continue on with this. Okay, so we went ahead, we got the truck all masked off, as you guys can see here. Next step up is the acid etch primer. We'll go ahead, hit all the bare metal spots to cover those and get those coated and protected. And then once that's cured up, we can go ahead and do our seam sealer and then bed liner. So let's go ahead and spray this now. Now we got our 2 coats of self-etch primer down. We'll go ahead, wait, let this stuff cure up. You guys can kind of see how it is. It's pretty much just made the entire bed white. All like the bare metal spots that were exposed, we had to hit, so here it is. This is what it looks like. This stuff is gonna take, I think, 10 minutes to fully cure. And then we can go ahead, go around all the edges with our, not self-etch, seam sealer, and get that all finished up. And then onto bed liner. Seam sealer turned out pretty good. I'm happy with it. I think
This looks really nice.
It looks better than factory, because factory is just so blobbed up there. You guys kind of a full look around here. I mean, even when we did all the repairs and stuff, I don't really see anything. And I think once we do get the bed liner sprayed in here, it's gonna hide a lot of it. So this bed's definitely gonna be cleaned up a lot more. So we'll let this set up just for a little bit. It doesn't take much time for the seam sealer to set up. I think it's actually, you can like spray over.
You can spray over
the first 10 minutes or so.
Somewhere around there.
So we'll let it sit for the 10 minutes. We'll come back and then we will go ahead and do the bed liner. So now the seam sealer has fully cured up to what we want it to, just like within the 10-minute time frame. The self etch is done, or I guess the acid etch, and we went ahead, assembled the gun here. So this is all ready to be used to spray. It's the one that comes with the Raptor Liner kit.
Yeah, it's like the shoots gun.
I don't know. You have the packaging right there, but this is the kit. This is the package that comes in. But you guys can see here, it's all assembled. It comes like in pieces. Well, not necessarily pieces. You just get the gun here, the pickup tube, and then the nozzle. So you just assemble all that. I went ahead. I threw on a regulator and a filter here, just so I can regulate it from the gun rather than doing it from the compressor. I believe the PSI is supposed to be between 40 and 60. I ended up setting mine to 50 just to be in the middle. We're gonna test it out, see what the pattern looks like, and make sure it's what we want before we actually spray it. But next, you guys can see here we have a Raptor Liner bottle set up. We're only gonna do one at a time just because I think this stuff hardens up
real fast.
Yeah, so these bottles, I don't know how full they are. We haven't opened one up to check, but you're supposed to fill it up to this bottom line here. So once we get that hardener mixed into here, you shake it up, attach it to the gun, and then we should be good to go ahead and start spraying this.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, it's all hooked up now. We got respirators on, so we should be good to spray. Okay, so we went ahead, we got our first coat done. I don't want to take this off for too long because it stinks in here. But you guys can see, it is 100% coated. This is just the first coat. We have to wait 1 hour, then we can come back, do our second coat, and then it should be finalized. Okay, so we just got done with the truck. It's completely unmasked. It's got our 2 coats of bed liner on it. This looks sick.
Really, really
I'm really happy with the way this turned out. It looks brand new now.
Yeah, it does.
It's crazy. Like any of the spots that we fixed and welded and patched, you don't even see them anymore.
No, you don't.
I mean, we'll go and turn the camera around now, let you guys get a look at it. But yeah, I think this turned out awesome. All of our lines and stuff are just super crispy. Like up here where we had like it taped off and everything, we got that nice and flush. The one patch that was back here, I couldn't tell you where it's at without going back and watching the video. Because I mean, it's all pretty well hidden.
Really only these 2.
4 spots here. Even like for these being like dented and stuff, they're not super noticeable at all.
They're not.
I mean, it looks like it's part of the bed. The big one that was over there, the bigger kind of booger weld that we did, I mean, that one's pretty subtle as well. And then like my favorite view so far, just from like, when you open up the tailgate here, and you can see all this. Like we got all that, like it's just cool seeing like the transition of colors go from there. Yeah, I think this turned out really well.
This looks nice.
But yeah, we're gonna have to let this cure up for quite some time.
Yeah, like 5 to 7 days, I think.
Yeah, so this truck's gonna sit around for a little bit. Luckily, we do have enough time for let it sit around and cure before we have to move everything out of the garage. But it will come in handy. We'll be able to use it.
Yeah.
I'm just really curious to see how it holds up.
Me too. I want to know, I want to see if anything will rip through it.
Same. I think it should be pretty strong and sturdy, but
I mean,
we'll see. If it does have any issues, we'll be sure to let you guys know. But I think that should wrap up for this video.
Yeah.
We made quite a bit of progress in this video. I mean, we had, 2 days worth of work getting this bed all sanded, all the holes patched and everything, and then the Civic left us with a black one,
Finally.
I guess. Not the red one. The red one's not going anywhere. And so yeah, I guess if you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.